Welcome to the Pride Podcast.
I'm your host, Mia.
And I'm your host, Kai.
And we have our special guest today. Drum roll, please. Miss Liz! Okay, so today we're going to be asking her a series of questions to get to know her. And we're going to start off with Kai.
So our first question for you is, how did you get into teaching?
Teaching came secondary because I studied sports medicine in college. So I was the athletic trainer. And then when students asked for a sports medicine class and they brought it on my second year here, they asked me to teach it. So I got into teaching that way. But going back to my high school self, I hated science and I hated public speaking. So I'm like, being a teacher in the science field, I would have never done that. But here I am.
And our second question is, what's the funniest or most unexpected thing that's happened to you in your classroom?
Unexpected. I had a couple kids faint because of some of the things that we do. Dissections. Sometimes we do blood typing labs. So they see the blood. They don't realize it affects them and they faint. I had one girl swallow a thumbtack my first year. She was playing with it in her mouth, and she's like, I accidentally inhaled. So I'm like, well, now we have to deal with this. So those are just unexpected things. Like, working with teenagers, like, wow, you guys do some interesting things. So, yeah.
And then next question is, was teaching always something that you wanted to do?
No. So going back to what I said before, I hate public speaking, and I hated science, so I didn't ever think I would be a teacher. But I like the fact that finding something I enjoy, sports medicine, being able to share what I enjoy. I like that aspect of teaching, and that's kind of why I allowed myself to get into the teaching profession.
And then next is, what's the most rewarding part of being a teacher?
It's always the students. The students are the hardest part, but the best part, because you guys bring so many personalities, so many different levels of motivation, so many different backgrounds. So it's always great to learn from you guys, also interact with them.
Okay. If you can give your students one piece of advice, what would it be?
I would say, first and foremost, just be present with everything that you do. I know some kids, they work hard and they juggle a lot of things, but like really be present in the things that you're doing and mindful in what you're doing so you can really absorb and enjoy the things. And not just that, but with learning, like, are you just doing the work, are you being mindful and actually gaining the knowledge that hopefully you're teaching you guys?
What's the worst professional experience you have had, and how did you grow from it?
I had a parent come talk to me or have a meeting with me because of her daughter's grades, and she put all the blame on me for her daughter not studying or doing well, even though I used to give makeup exams and late work, and actually because of the teacher, I don't allow makeup exams, or because of that parent, I don't allow makeup exams.
How do you feel in anatomy?
It's hard.
It's really hard, guys.
Do you ever get like frustrated? Like, as a teacher, I feel like if I was a teacher, I would get frustrated easily. Like, how do you deal with that?
I get frustrated seeing that kids, I don't know if they sign up for my classes because they're forced to or because they think it's going to be easy and then they get a different idea, but I get frustrated that there's a loss of motivation where I think I teach interesting subjects and they're elective classes, so you sign up for my classes. So that's the frustrating part on me, is like the kids don't have the same interests that I'm hoping I can bring to the class.
And then, okay, our next question is, how do you handle students that have different learning styles and needs?
The biggest thing is trying to meet everyone where they're at. So there's understandings that some kids are in the academic success program, so allowing them to have a little bit extra time. There are some kids, when you really start to get to know them, they have crazy home lives. And again, just meeting them where they're at. So just having an understanding, because there are some kids that they're really good at communicating. So like, I'm not here today because of this. And there are some kids that are missing and you never know why they miss. So it's just trying to have an understanding side while also trying to meet the academic rigor. So I try to give grace to the kids that I know need it, and then maybe try to give a little extra tough love and push to the kids. And I'm like, you can do this, you can handle this. So pushing the ones that you can, and then trying to be mindful and nice. Need a little bit more grace.
Okay. If you could have one superpower, what would it be and why?
I've always, every time I get this, it's telekinesis. So being able to move things with your mind. But also like I commute, so I'm like if I could just like part the seas of traffic with my mind, that would be great too. But I mean, we'll have those days also sitting on the couch, and like the remote's way over there, just like Then the second would be talking to animals.
Talking to animals.
Yeah. Hey, for those of you that have like fear of spiders, wouldn't you just want to see the spider and you're like, you're cool over there, right? And he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna get you. So
Speaking of animals, I just have a side question. Have you heard of the debate online about 100 men versus 1 girl? Who do you think would win?
So when I was first asked this question, it was, can the teachers and faculty at Salesian take on a silverback gorilla? I said yes. I gave us a chance, but everyone else said there's no chance.
I say 100 people could beat it. Kai says the gorilla's winning.
I feel like the gorilla would win.
Like it's 100 people. Like I know, but the gorilla's like super muscly. Like they're all muscle. So like would one punch affect them? So
I think if it was like 100 like Dwayne the Rock Johnsons, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like if it's just average people, I don't think so. But like if they're like, but they What's the funniest or craziest excuse a student has given to you to get out of doing work?
You know, I don't remember any crazy excuse. I had a kid break both of his wrists, which is super unusual. So he had a lot of extensions because he couldn't do anything because he was kind of like this. I currently have a PLTW student who her cat is gradually eating her notebook, and you can see it. But it doesn't stop her from doing the work.
But I do. Speaking of students, in the future, which students would you trust to be a doctor?
Which like current students?
Yeah.
Current students that I have right now who have taken anatomy and sports medicine, that just like look like they're locked. Janaya Sawyer, and then Yamira Godfrey. Yamira has like that bedside manner, like she just brings a big personality, but she's also focused. And Janaya's just like nails when it comes to doing work. And
yeah, I know. She's in my class.
When we do competitions, she's got it up for the twins. She's gonna beat them one day.
No, I will beat them one day. They're always against me. Like we gotta find one to separate them up, and then I haven't have a chance. Because then every time we battle, the days where Chris is gone too, that's even worse. Because then it's just me.
But another question: what's one slang saying that you hear students say that you don't understand?
It was hard to choose just one. So skibbity will forever like I know where it came from. I don't know who was like, this is a great video and we should use this word. Like I will never understand why. Chugi, I'm like, where did this word come from? And what was my other one? Ohio. What did we ever do to Ohio to make them weird? So it's not necessarily the words, but I'm like, who brought this and was like, cool, we're gonna make this part of.
What's a student that like says the most brain rot words in your class? Like,
I don't teach them anymore, but someone that would just like say ridiculous things. Oh, sorry.
No, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't honestly know a lot about like where those words originated either. I just feel like people just say them and it just sticks.
It just sticks.
And I feel like they just kind of have their own definition at a certain point.
Oh yeah, like skibbity is so ridiculous, but
I just say it because it's just like it just.
She says it a little too much. Is this a part of her vocabulary?
But our final question is: what's your favorite system of the human body to teach about?
I enjoy the eye because there's a lot of different labs you can do with it. It's one of my favorite. Yeah, in the sense it's one of my favorite dissections you could do. The nervous system's always interesting because it controls everything we do. But for sports medicine, the unit we're in now, first aid and CPR, is always the best. Like you get the best hands-on activities. It's the most relatable thing you could do. You get a chance to get certified in first aid and CPR stuff. I think kids get a lot out of that, but also enjoy it.
We were dissecting the eye. I wanted to keep the eye. because it looks so pretty for no reason. It was a pretty blue. Okay, I'm not tripping.
But another thing that we were actually curious about, I know Mia was curious about it, is would you ever like become a doctor, or was that ever like an idea that you had?
You know, not become a doctor, but after having kids and getting ultrasounds, being a sonographer, so the techs that do the ultrasound to look at the structures, like, because you can watch it on the big screen. Like, they have it up on the TV as they're doing the ultrasound, and as an anatomy teacher, I'm like, oh, I can see the different structures, and I recognize what's going on. But I just thought that was really cool as a career, and I'm like, if I were to make a switch, like, I could.
Game time!
Okay, so we know you are giving various anatomy quizzes. And
oh boy.
So we have a few questions for you.
It's like payback for all the quizzes I gave you guys.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, first from the integumentary system.
Okay.
What are the 3 layers of skin and their functions?
All right. The epidermis, the top layer, is to help protect the tougher outer layer. The dermis holds all the structures like your hair follicles, your nerve receptors, your sweat glands, your oil glands. And the 3rd layer, the hypodermis, is fat, so it helps to protect structures.
Yes. Stores and it insulates the body and stores energy. You know, that one is. Okay. Now in the nervous system, the blood-brain barrier is primarily made up of.
Well, it's separated by astrocytes, a special type of glial cell, which they don't communicate, but they help to support the rest of the nervous system. So it's those astrocytes that separate the blood and the nervous system, which is important because if the blood is carrying anything that has diseases or could be harmful, you don't want direct access to it.
Mine says capillary epithelial cells.
Oh, epithelial cells?
Yes, epithelial cells.
Well, I would say most or all body structures have some degree of epithelial cells because it's the top layer that protects it.
Okay. Which part of the nervous system is responsible for the fight or flight response? Fight or flight response?
Your sympathetic nervous system, which comes from your peripheral nervous system.
And now time for the circulatory system, my favorite system. Okay. Name the 7 places where you can check your pulse.
7?
Yes, there's 7.
Okay. Because there might be different from adults to do. So you can, up in the carotid, the radial, you can check the brachial pulse. That's the one you check for babies. The femoral artery, behind the ankle, which is going to be your posterior tibial artery, top of the foot, the dorsalis pedis, and then the 7th, the popliteal.
Yes, it is. I actually went to Morgan State University and they had the dummy where it was a doll. It cost $20,000, but it speaks, it blinks, and everything. It has all 7 pulses. So me and my friend, we literally raced around to see if we can feel.
Really?
Yeah.
So you need to tell Mr. Colelli to up our budget in the science department and get one of those.
And that is it for our podcast. Yes.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Thank you for coming.
Of course.
Yes.
I was happy to be here.
We really appreciate it. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And put in the comments what teacher or student you would love to see next.
Yes. You're looking for them. Seriously, we're really short. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.